not missing you. I'm not missing you. I'm not missing you. All you know is superficial. Some of it stays, some of it goes. Like a trend, you are a symbol of something no one ever will understand. I wish you could see yourself just like I do. Maybe you would know by now I really liked you. I'm not missing you.
What's up, guys? Welcome to today's class. Super excited to be with you guys here live. We're going to do some blow drying. I know it's Friday, so we're going to try to have some fun. Some of you guys are definitely busy in the salon, I guess. So we'll try to make the most of today. Have a blast, have fun, get in the chat, get excited, and we're going to be pretty much, I have no idea what I'm saying. I was just doing a client, and now all of a sudden I'm live on the internet trying to figure things out. So we're going to do some blow drying today. I'm going to show you guys how to pop volume into your client's hair using a round brush. But most importantly, I want to go over products. So this is a great class, not only for professionals, but also for just regular human beings out there that want to learn to get a little bit of volume in their hair as well. So I'll pack it in. It'll be for everybody. Carly, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see everybody in the chat. Tons of people logging in. I'm actually really surprised for a Friday to have this many people on. Obviously, all of you guys want to know how to get volume in your hair. So let me shoot on over to the mannequin here, and I can put that there so you guys can see as well. So a couple things before I get started. Let me zoom this, or see if it'll get closer. So a couple of things before we get started with the class today. Again, I'm going to go over some product knowledge stuff, also techniques on how to create that volume in the hair. I'm just going to get rid of this camera because I don't need it. So I'll back this one out a little bit. There we go. So first things first, obviously I've just shampooed, prepped the mannequin in that way. Now I'm going to brush through it. So a couple different things. I think the application of the product is super important. So we're going to go over that. I want to talk about paddle brushing as well. So when you use a paddle brush, there's a couple different ways to use it. So when you come out of the shower, when she comes out of the shampoo bowl, her hair is tangled a little bit. I mean, obviously I ran conditioner through it, worked my fingers through it, but overall it's a little bit tangly. So when you look at a paddle brush, let me show you guys from this angle here. You can see that one way, and a lot of people talk about this, one way you can't see through the bristles, the other way you can see through the bristles. Now, the difference in that, and what makes that so great, is that I can brush this way vertically with the brush. Obviously, you start at the bottom, work your way up. I could start vertically with the brush, and that detangles, and then when I want to create a ton of tension in the hair to pull and smooth, then I brush this way with the bristles horizontal. So I work through vertically. I'm going to start at the bottom, work my way up. So we'll go right back here. This is also Danielle's updo, which I took about 70,000 pins out of, bobby pins. So we really worked a nest in this hair. So I'm going to go through, start at the bottom, work your way up, and then I just start pulling, and I'm lightly going into the hair. I don't want to pull the hair, obviously. She doesn't have feelings, but your guest will probably have feelings. There we go. FSE Now app, yes, for sure. We're also live on the Minerva Beauties Facebook as well. So welcome to everybody that's watching on there. And it's Friday. Are you guys busy in the salon? Let me know in the chat. If you're new to the show, type new in the chat. And if you're an OG, you've been watching this show for a while, type OG in the chat. I want to say hi to my people in there. All right. So almost there, working through it, getting everything nice and detangled. Then once you have everything detangled, then you can start applying your products. So there's a couple products that one that I didn't have. So I'm going to show you guys how to make it, kind of. And it's also a nice product cocktail that I like to put together as well. So I'll show you guys that in one sec. All right, I got Amelia, she's new. Catherine's an OG. Heather is new. Robin's new. A lot of newbies. Good to see you guys. Did you brush it before you washed it? No, I did not. I quickly did. Quickly got this thing together because I had to get on the live and I had a client, like I said. So quickly did a haircut prior to this, and now here we are. Tighten the stand. Okay. So now we got it brushed through. I'm going to work this into a center parting. Straight down the center. Just like that. And then we'll part it. Give her a nice little center part. So I'm going to apply my products first, and then I'll section off the head to do my round brushing. There we go. All right. So what is my product choice going to be? I've got a couple different products here. First, one of my favorite products for just a blow dry in general, if I'm not trying to bulk up the hair, I'll go with Sculpting Foam by Paul Mitchell. What I'm going to do today is you could do the extra body sculpting foam, which is great as well. I'm going to add a little bit of thicken up to my sculpting foam. So that's kind of where I said if I had extra body sculpting foam, it'd be very similar. But I love the scent of sculpting foam, and I love the way that thicken up works. So what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of sculpting foam in my hands here, and then I'll put a little bit of thicken up on top of that. And just kind of cocktail those two products together. Then what I'm going to do is for this, I'm going to start by working mid-shaft to ends. Move the head over a little bit. So we're going to go mid-shaft to ends, work that product through. Now, here's a little fun fact when you're putting product in your hair at home or in your guest's hair, is you want to make sure you get product on all of the hair. If you don't get product on some hair, what's going to happen is you're going to get frizziness within the hairstyle. Also notice that I went mid-shaft to ends. I'm not trying to glob all the product on every little bit of the hair there. I'm just going mid-shaft to ends because that's where I want it to work. And then I'm going to go thicken up, a little extra thicken up on the base, and I'm going to go sculpting foam also, but I just want to mix that a little bit different. So just kind of focusing in on each of those areas. All right. So then once I have that, I'm going to brush mid-shaft to ends. Brushing it helps get the product all the way through, fully saturated on the hair. But again, just working mid-shaft to ends. There we go. It's raining again here. Fun. All right, and now I'm going to go a little bit of sculpting foam, not as much as before, in my hand, and then quite a bit more thicken up. I'll do about 6 pumps of that there. And this I'm going to work into the scalp. Underneath the hair, work it through. So what does Thicken Up do? Thicken Up has panthenol base on it, or in it, so what that does, it kind of fattens up the hair. So it's going to make the hair 6 times thicker than it normally was. So if you're looking to add a little bit of fullness to your hair, this doll head has quite a bit of hair, but if you're somebody that has a thinner head of hair, thinner density, then this is definitely a good product for that. Just plumps it up a little bit. And then you get your hold from the sculpting foam. And another thing, guys, if you have questions about anything, type Q and put in your question. That way I can see it. I'm looking at all the chat. I see a couple. If you have questions, place a Q. Thank you guys for having my back on that. Cool. Crystal says, I love Paul Mitchell. Wow, that's a lot of product you use. Do you use the same amount with short hair? No. So that's a great question. If they had shorter hair, I wouldn't. I'm using it based on the density of the hair. She has a ton of hair, So I'm using kind of a ton of products to make sure that I get it fully saturated throughout. If they had shorter hair, I would use it accordingly. I'm trying to get a better center part here for my sections. There we go. That's good enough. Okay. So now, a couple sections that I'm going to do. Let me pop to the top of the head here. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a triangle first out of the front of this, because what I want to do is I want to separate that fringe area and then the rest of the head. The fringe, I'm going to focus on where I really want to pop that volume in. So I want to just have it separate from the rest of the style. So a triangle on the top of the head here, and that triangle is going to go straight down to the hairline. I'm going to try to do this in as few sections as possible, because obviously when we're blow drying, we don't want to put a ton of sections in the hair, but it's good to separate it. Because after I create this triangle in the front, then I can go in and actually kind of work on that diagonal back all the way around the head. I'll show you guys what I mean in a sec. There we go. I'll twist this up. I'll clip it away. So kind of what I meant by working off of that diagonal parting is I can work my brushing off the face and kind of work in a pinwheel set here, just like this. I'll do the underneath first, and then we'll work through that top section. So through here, I'm going to draw a U-shaped section, and then we'll basically be done with our sectioning. So right here. Come back and just draw a round section around the head. Doesn't have to be perfect because this isn't a haircut, this is a style. So I'll just take this hair around. All the way through. So also, if you're doing this at home to get this style, I think it's important to kind of separate things. So obviously you could just take this up in your hands and clip it away. It doesn't have to be a perfect parting. It's more for the teaching purpose, and I like to get as good of parts as I can, but you don't have to get it perfect. Just pull up the top, separate the top and the bottom, clip it away. All right. So now we've got our U-shaped section across. Again, it's a little lopsided, that's okay. And we're going to start to work our round brushing throughout the bottom. Now I want to talk about round brush technique, because I like to hold the barrel of the brush, or of the blow dryer. So, out a little bit. So I like to hold the barrel like this. This blow dryer actually doesn't even have a handle, but I like to hold the barrel, and then my technique is to, I'll get away from my black clothes, is to have the barrel of the blow dryer at a 45-degree angle at the brush. So this, let's say this is 90. I like to tilt it down just a little bit like this, so the air is flowing around the brush. That's the goal. So you don't want the air to flow right at it, because that'll create frizziness in your blow dry. So we work through it. Now, when I add my client here, you want the size of your section no larger, obviously, than the barrel of your brush. Now, these ergo brushes have a much larger barrel, so I like to really just do half the brush. I don't really see a reason as I'm working through the head to have more than that. That's up to you guys. I like to have a little bit more control. I like the bigger barrel, but I don't really need to utilize the whole thing. And what I'm gonna do is, if you want extra volume, you're gonna go up with the brush. That's gonna help dry the hair in this more up kind of on base feeling here, like that. And that'll give you extra volume. So the higher I lift the hair up, the more volume I'm gonna get. The lower I go here, we're just then smoothing, polishing with a little bit of volume. So if we want extra volume, we're gonna go up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kick on the blow dryer here, high heat, medium air. That's what I like to do. And then just work through it that way. So another little fun fact about blow drying is, in my opinion, slow and steady kind of wins the race, right? So as I'm going through and blow drying, there's no reason for me to be flying through this and ripping the hair around. I think the slower you go and you just kind of let that airflow go over it and polish it out, you're gonna have a better result. So just trying to keep things organized and work through it that way, and let the brush and the airflow just kind of do its thing. It's gonna blow dry just as fast or even faster going a little bit slower. So now here's a couple other things as I work through it. So you want to let it cool or do the cool shot to let it cool off. So what's happening is, as you heat the hair up, the brush gets hot. So it's kind of like putting it in a hot roller. And then as that cools off, it starts to set the bonds. So when you add heat, water, certain things to hair, it's going to break down bonds. Then as the hair cools, it starts to reform those bonds, and it's going to form it in that kind of way. So whether you're using a curling iron or anything else, as I let the hair set and cool, if I pull this brush out right away, it's going to start to cool, but being pulled by gravity, being pulled down. So the goal is to keep it in this formation for as long as possible. You could also obviously use two different brushes and go through it, set a brush, do your next section, maybe even work the other side, then come back when the brush is cool, take it out and work through it. You could clip it. Again, I saw some of you guys posting, some of the OGs, appreciate it. You can get all these tools at Shop FSE. So when I take this section out, I can always wrap it like this, up, and then clip it right here, just like that. And that is going to help let it set, let it cool. You could even do a little bit of hairspray in there if you wanted to let it set that way. So now we'll move into the back. Another part of the technique with blow drying is I like to work slight diagonal sections and kind of work back. That's just my thing off the face. If I wanted to blow dry towards the face, I'd do diagonal and work that way. I'm not so much a kind of flat set person, so that's just my kind of take. I like to have a little bit of movement with those diagonal sections. It's just what plays out in my head, right? I don't know. You guys know that I'm more of a technical hair cutter than I am a technical styler. So styling is more of a feeling to me. So as I come through here, I'm just going to take slight diagonal section here, clip the rest away, just so I stay away from that section. And now I'm going to blow dry this back. Technique here, without having the blow dryer in my hand, as I blow dry, I like to put hold the blow dryer in my hand, but pinch the hair with in between my pinky and my ring finger as I'm working, and that helps me kind of pass through the section. So we'll go here. Actually, it's these two. So that's the final kind of, as I'm heating it up, guys, like I run it through a couple more times just to heat the brush up a little bit and to work those ends under it. And then I fold it and roll it up. So then now I don't have to let it fully cool, because if I'm going to put it in a clip, I can just wrap it around and let it cool on its own at that point. So don't feel like you need to sit there and let that brush sit in the hair. Now I'm just going to continue working around. Same thing, diagonal partings up the head, clip the rest away, and then this is where I'm going to blow dry. So this section is really where the larger barrel of the Ergo round brushes comes in. I think I have a regular, yeah, I do. Regular round brush over here. Say regular or typical round brush. So when I take this out, I'll show you guys. Take out the section, work it around, and then we can slide our clip. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to rotate all this. So I slide this clip up under, and now I can take this clip out because it's cool at this point, and I don't need it to really rest anymore. But when I take it out, I'm not going to touch it. Not going to put my hands in it, brush through it or anything, because I want it to start cooling. And I'm going to start working on this temple area here and then work my way back because I want to continue wrapping everything off of the face. So here's where you can see the comparison of the Ergo round brush and a regular one. So you get that much more barrel. So in cases where I was working on a large section in the back, I can actually fit that entire section on my brush. Also has a little bit larger handle, which is great for when you're working at home, being able to have all this brush to work with. It's like almost the size of your head to just throw the hair in and start brushing. And then also the larger handle, so it's easier to reach different things. Also, the tourmaline bristles. So the bristles in here have a negative charge. A lot of times they're just kind of like a plastic bristle. I don't know what this brush is made of. But this one, tourmaline bristles, negative charge. What that does is water is positively charged. So when you have a negative charge, it not only lays the cuticle down better, but it pushes the water out of the hair. So allowing it to blow dry a little bit quicker. So, you know, this is the Ergo 53 brush. You can get it on our online store. Definitely killer brush, awesome brush to use. Yes. So that's that. That is that. So now I'm going to go in, section off, clip the rest away, and we're just going to work our section back off of the face. So I'll come back this way. So another tip, that's what this class is all about, throwing out them tips. Another tip is when you have, when you're round brushing or blow drying your hair at all, doesn't matter if you're just blow drying it to smooth it out, blow drying it for volume. Number one thing is when you think it's dry, go a little bit longer. When you do that, it smooths it even better, it adds more shine. A healthy or cuticle that is laying down is going to be a lot shinier. So the way that you get shiny hair is the reflection of light hitting the cuticle. The cuticle is shiny and very reflective. So if it's laying smooth, then you're going to get that shiny hair effect. If it is up and frizzy, then you get a dull hair effect. So that's kind of the goal. So you want to make sure just as you're going through, it's going to go from being dry or damp or wet to damp and dry, dry and frizzy, and then to dry and smooth. So just continue working through it and don't stop until you get that smooth result. Just go a little bit longer. There we go, underneath. Now I'll take my next, or one of my previous clips. If you guys have 100 clips laying around, feel free to just keep them in there. But for me, I don't. I should, but I lose them. All right. So now I'm going to take a diagonal back parting. We got about 2 sections to go in the back until we're done. So here is the section I'm going to smooth. Totally went the wrong direction. This is what I want. There we go. So somebody was saying, Matt, do you use a cool shot sometimes when you're doing blowouts? I do sometimes. Depends on what blow dryer I have. This current blow dryer that I have in my hand doesn't really have it. It has a cool setting, but doesn't have a cool shot. So so I'm not currently doing it. I don't want to have to flick this too cool, which is what I would have to do. But that's totally fine. I'm letting it cool with the clips, which I prefer to do that. Instead of standing there letting it set. In the salon, I'm always trying to figure out how to maximize my time to make sure that, you know, I can get as many people in as I can in the day. So I don't want to sit there holding a cool shot. I want to do this as quick as possible. So last section, I did say somebody said that they used the wood brushes. That's totally cool too. I get it. Because of heat damage, I don't know. I mean, everything causes heat damage, including a blow dryer. This brush being a little bit heated up, you know, I don't think, as long as you have heat protectant on the hair, for me, wooden brushes and boar bristle brushes and things like that are definitely great for smoothing hair. But when you want to create volume and you need that little extra heat, I think, within the brush. That's just my opinion. But, you know, take it or leave it on that. But if it works for you to use a wood brush, awesome. That's good. So, Life Affair, thank you for hanging out. Enjoy your day. And Gary, I see I need to do this, work at a high-end salon. One guy pins it like you, but he does them upside down with a skinny round brush. Yeah, so here's another thing, another little fun fact for you guys. The bigger the round brush, the less volume you get. So a lot of people will be like, oh, I'll buy a big round brush and it'll give me tons of volume. It actually makes the hair flatter, which is great for smoothing hair. But if you want volume, you need that little bend to the root. So definitely think about that when you choose which round brush you're going to use. All right, go in here. I have a clip. Here's one. All right, so we got that clipped away. Now we can start working through the top of the head. The top of the head, I'm going to break up into 4 sections. Sorry, guys, I do everything here. Set the cameras. Let me see where we're at on the top. There we go. Sean, you're welcome. I think you're spot on about more curl from ceramic than wood. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it only makes sense. I wouldn't even say that's like a unique thought. It's definitely, it just makes sense that a ceramic's going to get hotter, so it's going to have more of a curling iron kind of effect or hold. So here's the deal. So I break that into 2, and then I'm going to break this into 2. And I'm going to round brush this stuff on base, forward, but back off the face. You could get more volume going forward, but I don't want to make this look like a helmet either. So it's kind of where we're staying away from. I'd separate this one as well. And I just want to make sure that these saturated sections, I'll actually just brush them out real quick because then I can work quicker when I'm ready to take them. So here, I'll brush this section out and I'll lay it towards the front on this side. And I'll brush this section out. I'll lay it towards the front on that side. Now I've got 2 sections to work with in the back here. Brush those out. I just don't want them sitting on the dry hair underneath for too long. All right. So here we go. So now, grab my round brush. And we're going to work section 1, up in the air, off, and on base. See if I can keep this cord out of the way here. All right. So there we go. So now we let that kind of set, let it cool a little bit. Obviously, I can grab a clip from underneath and curl it up. So I feel the brush to see where the heat's at on it. And now I take the hair out. And I'm just going to wrap it and keep it on base. Right here, I'll just clip down on base. So now I can take the next section right here, right next to it, and then I can start round brushing that. All right, cool. So I'm going to let that set for 1 sec. The two sections that we're going to work on in the front part of the head here, these two panels before the fringe, I'm going to blow dry one forward this way and then the other one forward the opposite way. We're working on a center parting. That's really the reason for that. So I'm going to let this kind of set down. This section is going to come across and over, just like that. And then the fringe will be horizontal and go that way. How are we doing so far? Let me know in the chat. I wish the blow dryer's cord was longer on some of them. It drives me nuts. Yes. And I did see somebody say, have you ever tried a cordless blow dryer? Tina's asking. No. I was supposed to get one from one of the companies. I don't know if it ever came to fruition or whatever, but no, I never tried it. And the problem is those cordless blow dryers, they just don't have a long enough runtime yet. And the battery's got to be so heavy. That's the biggest problem. So I'm going to lower this. Not that you guys care, but. All right, so actually, here's a little trick too. Some of you guys know this trick. Let me go to the front camera. But if you want to take out a brush and you're not going to wrap it up, so let's say we finished our blow dry here, blow drying like this, right? If I take the brush, sorry, focus. So if I take the brush like this and I unravel it like that, and kind of spin it out. So the whole time I'm spinning it like that, and it doesn't pull the curl out of the head. So that's another little trick that you guys can do if you don't want to, if you're not going to pin it, up, then you don't want to just stretch and pull that curl out. All right, so I've got my section from the front here. So here we go, up like that. So Catherine, this is the Ergo 53 brush. So 53 CI. You guys can just search that on our website. A lot of people have been posting the link. If you guys are on Facebook and you have the link to the brushes, could you just post it? You OGs out there, help me out. I also want to say thank you to all of you guys for posting so much and being interactive in our app. It's definitely picking up, and we're getting the community really going in there. So if you're looking for the coolest hairdresser community ever, go to the FSE Now app, create a profile, and start chatting it up, sharing your work, sharing videos, maybe your favorite FSE videos. You could share those. You can go live, talk to people, just have some fun with it. So download the app. All right, so I'm just gonna let that cool a little bit, like we have been. Read your comments a little bit, like I have been. Is there a link you can post for us? So the blow dryer is Paul Mitchell Neuro. I forget exactly. I mean, there's only a couple, but you can go to paulmitchellpro.com or paulmitchell.com, and you can pick it up there. There we go. So I want to keep this on base, guys. Wrap it around. Keep it on base. Like that. And now we're going to do the same thing on this side, working this hair over this way. So one little tip here, because I'll get myself into a mess, is to, once I'm going to start blow drying kind of low, like maybe 3 inches from the root, working the hair this way while I let this section cool. Then as soon as I get to go to the root, I'll just let this section down so that I don't tangle it up. That's the goal there. All right, so now I'm going to let down this one. Still not running my hands through it at all, just moving it out of the way. And then I can work a little closer to the root now in this section. Right. You can see the finish line, ladies and gentlemen. I can see it. All right. I'm going to set this back just a little bit here. Let it cool. Now we've got our fringe. Getting there. So I'm going to do the same thing with the fringe. So I'm going to let this down. I'm going to brush it out so it's nice and organized. And then I'm going to start brushing it forward, round brushing it forward. I actually break this up into two sections. So I'm going to split this fringe in half. I'll go straight across here. Just cut the triangle in half. And I'll round brush this front part first. Just working with a little less hair. Nothing wrong with that. Let's go over to this side. right. We're getting there. One more. So I think it was Diane was asking if I go through and hit it with a cool shot when it's all done to set it in. I don't, because that's kind of the process that I'm doing now. So I'm letting this cool and then I set it and let it cool, and then I'll eventually take it out. So I don't take it out until it's cool. So I don't really need to do that cool shot. Plus that cool shot, to me, if I add wind or air to that, it's just really kind of helping to work that curl out. So my goal is never to do anything that's going to take that out of there. I just keep shifting, whistling, and shifting those clips around as the sections are cooling. Less clips to take out at the end. Obviously, this is not for like a runway. This is for reality. So just a quicker way of working through it. I kept trying to read your guys' comments, so literally I was tangling myself up in that section. Every time I would look up to read, all of a sudden I would grab a chunk of it. All right, so we'll let that cool for a sec. We got Blowout King in the building here to check out that YouTube channel. All right. So now, again, don't want to touch it too much. Just kind of looking through. Make sure I got all my clips out. And then I can start to let some of this section go. And then we've got the last fringe section. Kind of let that go back. All right. So there's a couple different things that you can do to finish this out, right? I could push my client's hair forward and put some spray into it and then flip it back. You could let her lay back, put it in that way. I'm a big fan of the forward. So I feel like it gives me the most volume. So let me go here. I'm going to tilt her forward like this. Just like that. So now, and then I'm going to add in a little bit of Hold Me Tight, which is one of my favorite hairsprays from Paul Mitchell, flexible style. And I'll just lift her hair. That was hilarious. Lift her hair up. And this is just to kind of start to set the hair. Then I'll tilt her head back up. I'd really have my client probably like kick her hair back so I don't have to get it out of her face. We're just going to do that. We're going to remove her head. So I would have her tilt her head down, build it up, and then I'd have her kick it back like this. So then I'd push it forward. Like that. You can see all that body. Then, love big hair, me too. Then, go in. Definitely want it to be a little less at the root there. There we go, that's better. And like I said, this is like, you know, some Saturday night going out hair or something. I don't know. Do we even do that anymore? But tons of volume. Fun little set. Hope you guys liked it. You can see all the movement, how big it is. Tons of waves. Sweet. All right, cool. Glad you guys like it. Let me see, I'll go over here, pop up to you guys, back out. So I'm glad you guys like it. Let me know in the comments. Esther, thank you so much. Seeing other people in person. Yeah, that's true. That is really funny. Carmen, thank you so much. It's very NYC. All right, we'll take it. Thank you. Lynn, thank you so much. Rebecca, you guys are awesome. Always have a hard time to get the roots. Could you give me some tips to get into the roots? Probably with you're probably talking about with the blow dryer. Yeah, I gotta so for me, whenever you're round brushing, and you can't get quite to the root, you might have seen me. So we'll go right here. So you might have seen me when I was round brushing like this. I would kind of hold the hair up and I would hit the root a little bit. So it would kind of go like this. Round brush. And I would hold it. And that to me just kind of helps get to the root, keep the root nice and tight when you pull that tension on it. Hit it with the round brush or with the blow dryer and then let it cool. And then you kind of have, that piece worked at the end. So that for me is probably my go-to there. Sweet. All right, guys. I love the crisscross at the top, learning something new. Awesome, Sarah. That's exactly what it's all about, right? That's what it's all about. So I'm glad you guys picked up some new things. Really enjoyed hanging my Friday with you guys. Whatever. Back to work. Can't find Smomo on FSC app. I actually need to figure that out because I think she's having issues on there. So good reminder, Adele. You're always good with the reminders. All right. I think that's it, guys. I appreciate you all. Thank you for being a part of the Friday. Remember, we're live pretty much every day of the week, Monday through Friday. Check the FSE Now app for the schedule. Next week's schedule will be going out probably today. I'm going to work on that now. And then, so I'll be live Monday doing some men's cutting, then Tuesday more hair cutting, Wednesday color with Brian, Thursday Danielle next week's going to be doing a cornrow style with a bun, which is going to be super cool. And then Friday I'll probably do some finishing tips, product knowledge type classes for you guys out there as well, just to finish up Friday with some finishing work. That's it. Thank you guys very much. You're all awesome. I'll see you next time. See ya.
Try to make it new. You can't fight it when it feels so true. You drive me crazy like no one else. The final moment before I lose myself. And it's no use working 9 to 5 if you want more than to stay alive. So come on over, we can make it through. My hand, I know just what to do. On the beat, keep dancing through the night. We stay up until the morning light, the morning light. Oh, so come on over, we can make it through. Take my hand, I know just what to do. On the beat, keep dancing through the night. We stay up until the morning light. The morning light, oh, I just wanna be your Superman. Come fly with me, just take my hand. And now that we are cruising in mid-flight, you better watch out for the kryptonite.